think about
saying,
this.
Let me carry you to Everest.
Whether you are climber, investor, comic, whatever you are, aren't there always people better than you, better at this job than you are, physically more fit than you are, more funny than you are?
No.
Yeah. So, but you know,
I like that we were both on the same.
Second, we both looked at each other at the same time. We're like, no, there's not.
I love that confidence. But there are better climbers than me, the better comics than me.
Yeah. She just said she loved the confidence. Misplaced as it was.
But I believe in creating my own luck. I believe in luck 100%. It comes with a lot of hard work.
There's always going to be someone better, always. And yeah, create your own luck. And that's only going to happen through working hard and being relentless. You mentioned at yesterday when we were talking that everything comes down to awareness. Mm-hmm. And like comedy is awareness in one way. Just being aware of things. And when we talked to Kerry Newhoff about leadership, he said leadership is all about awareness. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
well, even when we talked, with the concepts with Doug Lennox about being aware of what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
So I think it's a big part when you look at decision making. It's huge.
Yeah. But being able to understand how you make decisions. You were talking, Shailee, about how all these things are a given for you. Well, at least you know that about yourself, right? So you can avoid committing to projects that you don't want to put all of these other decisions into, or do all of these other things and do all of these other steps, because you know that when you say yes, you're not going to half-ass it. Mm-hmm. There are other people that they don't know that about themselves, and then they react the same way, and then they get overwhelmed and they can't execute on all of the things that they're working on, or they don't make decisions that way. They don't commit 100%. And they do know that about themselves, and it allows them to take on more projects, and they just say, well, I am going to half-ass this. Maybe consciously that's a decision.
Yeah, awareness is, like I shared yesterday, awareness is my one-word solution to all the problems in the world, in my life, everything. Because, like you were saying, if you're aware of it, then you can fix it. Right. What are you going to do if you're not aware of it?
Yeah, it's so true. As I struggle and I work to, and I think my wife would disagree, but as I try and improve and become more self-aware, is that, and you have to work on that to become more self-aware. I've become more aware of people who aren't self-aware. Do you find that? Is that those jump out and you become aware? You're like, oh, this person isn't situationally aware. This person isn't self-aware.
And then you realize that you were that person.
I was
before. And you go,
I think we've all been there.
It was obvious to other people that I wasn't self-aware.
Until it becomes until you become self-aware, right? Yeah, you're the problem with people who aren't self-aware is that they don't know it.
Yeah.
They don't know that they lack self-awareness. So it's a hard thing to figure out you even need to work on, to get better at.
Yeah, and for me, it definitely started with myself. I am a big advocate of meditation. I've been meditating for 20 years now. So a lot of it, like when you become aware of your breath, of sensations in your body, slowly, I think naturally you start being aware of your emotions and your own hypocrisy, your politics, your strengths, your weaknesses. So it happened in an organic way for me. That was one. And another is my teammates. So we are brutally honest with each other in my team. If somebody has put on weight, we'll be called fat. So that's a fact in my team, and we don't mean it in a hurtful way, but we don't sugarcoat the truth either.
Right.
So, and again, like I was sharing, I have always been, I want to say fit, always within the right BMI and everything. And there was a time when I put on a little weight and a friend of mine was like, your neck is thick, So we are given these cues to be very aware. there were particularly few things that my team helped me a lot with. So they were one of the biggest changes in my life. They told me that I was very gullible. And you're leading a team and your team members are telling you you're very gullible.
And did you just go, oh, I am? Did you believe that? No, I don't think so.
It reminds me of this story.
I have to hear
when I told you that gullible wasn't even in the dictionary.
Oh, that was the worst. Oh, yeah, he told me gullible's not in the dictionary. And I was like, oh, interesting fact. And I must have done something gullible for him to make that comment, and I was so unaware that I didn't even recognize that was related to this, gullible moment that I had had. A few days later, I'm in my 5th grade science class. One of my friends, Clay, he goes, and I guess I was being gullible again. He goes, hey, gullible's written on the ceiling. And I said, fun fact, it's not even in the dictionary. And he goes, it's obviously in the dictionary. I went, no, man, it's not. Bet you didn't know that. And he goes, and now,
so bad about this.
But here's the joke for him, is he actually went and picked out the dictionary.
Oh, okay, all right.
And he goes, let me show you. And I think we both lost in that moment, because obviously it's in the dictionary.
You could have played that differently.
I didn't know I don't think I knew what the word meant. I don't think I was aware at that point.
When you read the definition, did it hit you that what had happened?
It hit me then. I go, oh. I was very upset and embarrassed. But yeah, if I was smart, I would have said, loser, you have to go get the dictionary. Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't pick the dictionary. I would have gone for anything to prove my, friend dead wrong.
No, it wasn't it was not my best moment.
But I worked on it. It wasn't pleasant to hear, but they told me, and I kind of took my time to sit through that, and I could see the impact of being gullible, how it impacted me and my team and other things around me, and I was like, yep, they're right. And the awareness came from the feedback of my teammates, but
right.
It's hard you can't excel as a team without that awareness. To be the best version of ourselves, we have to be self-aware, but to be the best version of a team, you have to be aware as a team. And I'm not always going to be aware of everything. Mm-hmm. No matter how self-aware I try to become, I can't be as aware of myself as other people are in certain characteristics. I mean, I've been on teams in business before where we actively, or not we, other people actively reject accepting that awareness. Say, hey, let's give each other feedback. Let's talk about these things. If you're fat, let me tell you. Let's talk about it.
Some people don't want to hear that they're fat or whatever it is.
Some people don't want to hear what their problems are at all.
They do not want to hear that. So it's good to have that kind of that trust relationship with your teammates or business partners where you can say, hey, you're not pulling your weight, or hey, this is not aligned with your values, or whatever. You've got to be able to tell them that. And and if you can't, you're just operating inauthentically.
You can't make decisions as a team if you can't tell people when they need to pick it up.
Yeah.
You can't.
And also the thing is, obviously, climbing mountains together, I have this deep degree of trust and bonding with my teammates. So if somebody else comes to me and says, hey, your neck is thick and you're gullible, that's not going to go down well, But where is that person coming from? Are they judging me, or are they really invested in my progress? And,
are they doing it to help you? Are they doing it to be hurtful, or just,
exactly.
What's their,
And we might say it in funny ways or, whatever, but the intention of where it's coming from, that makes all the difference. So no, not everybody probably has the right to, in the name of making other people aware, put a spotlight on their shortcomings. But again, awareness is a practice. We'll have to find ways of just nurturing that one way or the other.
Right. Yeah, that's an excellent point. There's some coaching that I do with a guy in business, and so we've got the kind of relationship that if I see him doing something, I feel this obligation to tell him, and we can kind of cut through all of the niceties and go, hey, I saw you do this. Tell me about what you were thinking. What were you trying to accomplish when you did that? I'll kind of question into it. And if you had it to do again, would there be different ways you would articulate that, or did you prepare to that, or did it just come out? So I find it's helpful for me to kind of extract that and ask a lot of questions before I lead in with the observation or trying to force self-awareness on people. Is just asking more questions up front has been helpful anyway. So.
Yeah, and I guess the fact that you're coaching them already has some foundation of where, comments or suggestions from you.
He knows where it's coming from.
Yeah. It's a welcome. And on top of that, just some maybe tools or practice for us to figure out stuff on our own would also be nice, whether it's meditation or, whatever it is, your sports.
So you mentioned meditation. Is that a part of something that you've just gone to on your own, or is that part of Buddhism? Is that part of that faith, or how did you get into that?
My interest in meditation, I probably want to say that it's something I was born with, I think, because, as a kid, I gravitated towards reading this kind of book or this. And so I was literally the first person who went for this 10 days silent meditation course when I finished my high school. And my parents hadn't heard of it. They'd never been to a meditation course or anything before. The minute I heard it, I was like, I need this. So I went for this 10 days course, and after that I made sure I sent my mom and then later my dad as well. So it's just something that has been interesting to me from a young age.
You're finding it helpful, I guess. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That could be another podcast where a lot of my decision making comes from this practice of awareness, and how do I cultivate awareness? How do I, if I'm operating from jealousy, maybe, if I'm operating from fear, how do I become aware of where am I operating from? So for me, meditation has kind of done a lot of wonders in figuring out what my, insecurity and also strength at a given moment is.
Mm-hmm. The thing that I haven't done a lot of meditation and certainly not gone 10 days, in silence. And my concern is that if I try and clear my mind, and maybe I'm doing it wrong, I lose control, it would seem, of what then replaces that void, right? If I create a void in my mind and try and clear it, I get concerned, and maybe this is self-fulfilling prophecy, that it may not be the most positive things that fill that void. Does that make sense?
You definitely need to meditate.
Do you meditate?
You do?
No. I'm agreeing that I do need to do that.
Oh,
I'm not agreeing that I do it.
No, I don't think that's a... What are you afraid of?
That
you're going to have negative thoughts?
That it may not go well? I don't know.
Man, you should definitely do it then.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, how's it go?
That's not an experience. Those negative thoughts are helpful.
In what way?
If I'm having negative thoughts, right? If all I'm afraid of is negative thoughts, every single time those negative thoughts are a form of awareness, where I go, oh shit, I do that. Oh my God, people think of me in that way? Oh no, I should stop doing those things. Or maybe I realize, oh, you know what, for the past 3 months I've been really upset with so-and-so because they did this thing, and all that I'm doing is poisoning my own heart by being bitter about it. Oh no. And it stinks and it's awful and I hate it, but I'm never going to be aware if I don't have that awful moment where I think, oh my gosh, I saw myself.
I guess is that different from just contemplating, right? So